The more that you chase something, the further away it seems to get. This is because the more that you cling on and emotionally attach to a specific outcome, the more that you're boxing yourself in and preventing the universe from letting abundant outcomes flow to you. When you box yourself in and are so determined to have something turn out a specific way, you're completely closing yourself off energetically from allowing any other great opportunities or great solutions to come into your life. Today I want to talk about how this works and how we can let go of this need for outcome and let the right things flow into our lives. You might have heard the term, attachment is the root of all suffering. This is so true in every form, when you're attached to people, when you're attached to certain objects, and especially when you're attached to specific outcomes happening. When you can only picture something happening in one way, you're going to feel afraid of it not happening that way. You're going to feel let down if it doesn't happen that way. But the thing is 90% of the time, we don't know what's best for us. The universe is always guiding us on a divine path that's probably predetermined, right? But we're so focused on things turning out the way that we want it to, that we're not willing to be open enough to other solutions coming to these situations. When we want is an ego-driven state. Want is a very low vibrational state. When we're wanting, that is implying that we are lacking. So when we want, we are in lack. And when we're in lack, we're extremely low vibrational. Pretty much the exact opposite of being in gratitude or, being really thankful or knowing that you're abundant. These are all high vibrational states. When you are in a low vibrational state, like the state of want or lack, you are attracting nothing but want or lack into your life. When you're in that low vibrational state of want or lack, you are just attracting other low vibrational things like bad situations into your life. Your ego only sees one outcome. Your ego sees, this is how it needs to turn out. I will accept nothing else. This is what I want. This is what I need to happen in order to feel safe, secure, happy, abundant, etc. Your ego sees the one outcome, therefore you will only accept that one outcome. When we let go of needing it to go a specific way, whatever your situation is, let go of that need for control on the outcome and let the universe flow through you and allow things to attract to you when you're at that high vibrational state, the outcome is going to be so much better than the one that you were just so focused on, the one that you just needed to happen. When you refuse to let go of that need for control on that outcome and things start to go a different way than what you're hoping, or they look like they might turn out differently, you're going to embody stress and anxiety and fear and all of these things, and they're going to not only circulate within your body and can cause literal health concerns for yourself, but they're circulating in your life and attracting more and more situations that are driven by fear, anxiety, stress, etc. It's going to just keep circulating in your life because that's what you're clinging onto. The more that you cling on to that need for control over the outcome, the more that you are going to be in a low vibrational state of wanting, lacking, being stressed, having anxiety, all of these negative things. But by detaching from that need for the control over outcome, you allow the universe to kind of step in and show you this is how good it can get. Here are the amazing outcomes to situations when you let go of that need for control, you let go of that low vibrational fear, anxiety, stress, and you allow for higher vibrational things like you're starting to see synchronicities and you're starting to have faith in the universe. You're starting to feel joy and peace and gratitude. You're vibrating higher, therefore attracting higher vibrational outcomes to these situations that you never could have even saw coming had you just continued to strive for that one outcome that probably wasn't for you anyways. And at that, we always think we know what's best for us. We think we know what we need. We think we know how the situation needs to turn out to best benefit our lives. But in reality, we can only see a sliver of life at a time, right? So the universe, the divine, God, whoever, can see the full plan of your life much, much better than you can. Detaching from the need to control your outcome, detaching emotionally from the outcome of situations doesn't mean that you don't care. Doesn't mean that oh, well, it is what it is. It doesn't mean that you don't care about your situation. When you detach from the outcome emotionally, you're releasing that tight grip that you have on the outcome that's blocking you from receiving the things that you're meant to receive as an outcome to the situation. So whatever the situation is, you should continue to be excited about it, think about the future, think about how great the outcome could be, but don't get caught up and stuck on a specific outcome that you want to happen. Sure, we can all sit and think of great outcomes to different situations, and that's great, you should still do that, but do not become so attached that you can't allow for other outcomes to happen or other things to happen or other ways for the situation to go. Because when we become upset about things deterring us from our path or things not turning out the way that we want to, by becoming upset about these things, you are trying to control how you feel about the situation instead of just allowing it. So stop controlling how you feel about the situation. Even though you might be upset, you have to stop and remember that this is what is aligned for you. There's a reason for everything happening. That doesn't mean that you should be lazy and not, work for your goals. But if something major happens to deter you from your goals, you should not sit and think about how everything's just falling apart. You should just remember that the universe has a plan. And trying to control how you feel about the situation is just another form of the ego winning, and we don't want that. We all have an ego, and I'm not trying to say that the ego is this big, bad, scary monster, but it is important for us to keep our ego in check, and it's necessary to a certain extent, but when it comes to controlling the outcome, our egos are so fixated on how certain things need to go, so it's important to keep that in check and remember that we don't need to control everything. Our job here is to flow with everything that happens, not control everything that happens. Detachment doesn't mean that you're passive to what's going on. It just means that you are, again, loosening that grip, that need for control, forgetting about what you want to happen, that low vibrational word, and allowing for the universe to flow through you to provide for you the things that you're meant to receive and experience in life. True happiness and fulfillment is what we're all chasing. And this doesn't come from, receiving a certain amount of money or receiving a certain amount of material things. This doesn't come from feeling accepted or loved by a person. True happiness and fulfillment is something that you can only reach from within yourself. No person, place, or thing is going to give that to you. You might feel happy in the moment getting something or receiving a certain feeling from someone or, winning the lottery, whatever it is. You might feel happy for the moment, but true happiness and fulfillment is not going to come from anything externally. It's always from within. I can share a story of a major need for control that I had for a really long time. This is something that I realized, obviously hindsight, that I needed to control, but I needed to control the outcome, and as soon as I let go, my entire life changed. I didn't grow up with a put together family. My dad was in prison. My mom was a single mom. It was me and my brother. So growing up, I always craved that structured family. Fast forward, I had my first son at 17, my second son at 19, and I wasn't with a very great person. And we're just going to leave it at that. I was young. I was desperate for love. I was desperate for someone to give me validation, attention, a family, etc. So I had babies with the wrong person, and that's, there's no such thing as the wrong person, I guess. Everything's meant to happen as it should. But what I was chasing was this structured family that I never got as a child. Fast forward to when my sons were a couple years old, I started dating somebody, and I was trying so hard to force this family, this structured family that I always wanted. And on paper, this person looked perfect, college degree and came from a good family and all of these things, right? And so I was like, yep, this is it. I'm going to make a family here. This is going to finally be the family that I wanted. And then it turned out to be probably the most unhealthy relationship I've ever been in. It was really bad for several years. The harder that I tried to control that outcome, the harder that I tried to be that perfect housewife type of mom and, making nice dinners literally 5 days a week, these big fancy dinners, keeping the house super, super clean, and changing my whole life to what this person wanted, because this person also wanted a structured family, but I think we had different views. hindsight. But yeah, so the more that I tried, the harder that I tried to force this structured family that I wanted so bad. I wanted this to be the family that I never got. I needed to make it work. I was willing to do anything. I was willing to do anything to make this family work. I was not giving up, and that ended up meaning enduring some abuse that I should not have endured. But to me, it was a fair exchange for what I wanted. I needed that family to work, so it was worth it to me. After a while, things got really bad, and I started waking up, per se. I started getting into spirituality and learning a lot and realizing, like, this is not the life that I want. This is not how things are supposed to be. And the more that I slowly let go of that need for that family, the more that my eyes were opening to, like, how bad things really, really were. Eventually, I let go completely. For the last while, I clung on still with just, like, wanting to give my kids that life that, you know, I never got, that they never got. So I was clinging on for so long for that. And then finally, like, I just completely let go of that need. I will never forget the day that, like, I talked to the universe and I said, okay, like, I'm done. I give up. Whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. And I'm just going to allow it. I'm going to allow it. If it means I'm starting completely over by myself, fine. I'll do it. And I did. I started over completely by myself with, like, nothing as a single mom. But it was so freeing. I have never been happier. I have never been more fulfilled. I have never felt more at peace than the day that I let that go. You know, and we obviously aren't together. We obviously parted ways. My family that I needed so desperately, my family that I have now is so perfect, is so amazing. I can see all of the amazing things that I have because I let go. You know, we were not a happy family. We were not okay. I wanted this white picket fence family, and we were the furthest thing from it. From the outside looking in, maybe we looked like this great family, but we were not. It was so bad. But the day that I let go, of course, at first, starting over was really hard, but my little family that I have now, even though it's not like the typical mom, dad, kids family, I have the best family. I am so happy, genuinely happy, so fulfilled every single day. I see my kids happy. I see my kids, you know, playing carefree. But I was so afraid of not getting that family. I was so afraid of not being able to start over by myself. I was so afraid of what would happen if I didn't just stay in that family, even though it was toxic, even though it wasn't healthy, even though it wasn't the safest situation. I was so afraid of what would happen if I didn't get that outcome that I've been striving for years and years and years and years. And then I let go, and life came together beautifully. And I'm so happy. I'm in such a great place. My kids are in such a great place. Like, the biggest and best thing I ever did for my family that I wanted so bad was let go of needing this family to happen so bad. And that's obviously a very extreme version of letting go of outcome, but that's what it was for me. And now, ever since that happened, whenever I'm faced with a situation, the first thing that I say is that, you know, it's in the universe's hands. I'm here to roll with it. Whatever happens, we're rolling with it, and it's okay. And sometimes that's easier said than done, right? But having that faith in the universe, because I know the universe had my back. When I trusted and I let go and I said, okay, I'm done fighting for something that is clearly killing me. Like, I was so not in a good place. When I finally let go, the universe provided. It really did. It said, see, you've been clinging on to this horrible thing for so long without realizing how great it really is on the other side once you just let go and see the other outcomes that are coming to you, because everything is working out for you all the time. But when you're fighting against it by clinging on to this one thing that you really want, you're not allowing for those great things to come to you. So letting go, trusting the universe, and just knowing deep down that the best thing for you is what's going to happen, 10 times out of 10 is the solid move to getting you to the best outcome. And having that security in knowing that it's okay that you don't know. Even though you don't know what's going to happen, you know it's going to work out. And that's all you need to know, and that's all you need to keep telling yourself. So my question for you is, what are you clinging on to so hard that's causing you so much stress? What are you clinging on to that outcome? What do you need to happen? What do you want so badly to happen that is causing you to deter from what's meant to happen to you? And the other thing that comes with that is, where does it stem from? What's the root to that? Because for me, like I had said earlier, my need for having a structured family came from, I didn't have one as a kid. And now I have kids, and I want that security. I want that safety. So for me, it was my inner child's lack of security and safety that meant I needed somebody. Partnered with the fact that, I had back then had some pretty bad codependency issues, so I didn't want to be alone. So what do you have in your life that's causing you all of these stresses to not having the outcome that you want? And another thing with that is, the faster you let go, the faster things are going to start happening for you. So let go today in order to have a better tomorrow. The thing with our need for controlling our outcomes, most of the time, is an unmet need from our inner child. So why are you trying to force the outcomes that you're forcing? Do you need that validation that you never got as a child? Do you need that sense of security and safety? What is that thing that you're missing in your life that you need to try to force to happen versus letting go and allowing the universe to bring it to you? So the more that you let go of that need for control, even though it can be really hard at first, when you really find where the root is, why it's there, process it, and let it go, you're able to see that the universe is going to bring so much more to you. Life is going to work out so much better for you versus you trying to control that outcome. You trying to control that outcome is the biggest thing that is holding you back from achieving everything that you want to achieve. Let it go, and then let the universe flow through you. I really hope I was able to give you some insight today. I hope this helped you a little bit. If it did, please give it a like, comment down below any of your thoughts. Other than that, I would love to see you in the next one. Bye.